fellow YouTubers, this is Yuto Moses here for my review for Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon. So it's the third installment in the series of the Transformers, and it goes back to 1961 when NASA has launched Apollo 11, and they head to the moon only to discover that there was a dead space alien robot buried there, along with its shuttle, which they don't know much about. And so it heads to present time when Optimus Prime and the other Autobots head back to the moon and find out that the alien robot that was dead there long ago happens to be Sentinel Prime. And so when they brought him back and told them a lot about what had happened, only to find out that they would betray them and go on the side of the Decepticons, they would use the pillars that they found on the moon so that they would resurrect more of the Transformers that was buried in the moon, and to resurrect the dead planet known as Cybertron, and use all that to take over the world. And seeing that it's just a small group of Autobots along with the military on Earth against a huge-ass army of Decepticons, and how it was shown in the trailers, I think they're really screwed this time.
Our universe is doomed! Doomed!
I'm just going to say it straightforward to you. Transformers 3 was retarded as hell from watching it, all because it was in the hands of Michael Bay from the start, with all his oversized American ego stuff that he included in all three of the movies. And I've heard a lot of news about what Michael Bay had said, that he admitted that Transformers 2 sucked, and he promised that he was going to do better with the next one, but it wasn't any better than the other ones. And he said that it wasn't going to be released in 3D, but when the next trailers and advertisements came out, it said it was going to be shown in 3D, and said that it was going to be much darker than the other ones, but it wasn't that much darker than Transformers 1 or 2 at all. And I really don't mind the acting, because in the previous films they were done by passable or mediocre actors like Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, and John Turturro, but to have great actors like John Malkovich and Frances McDormand in it playing generic roles, that really hurts me seeing them in a movie like that. And when I heard about them being in I thought at first they were going to do voices for Autobots or Decepticons, but in Transformers 3, John Malkovich plays Sam Witwicky's strict yet really wacky boss of his, and there was even a scene where he shows a picture of him in a karate outfit doing a pose, and nobody in the whole theater I was in didn't laugh at that at all. And I just thought a lot of those scenes with him was just desperate. While Frances McDormand played this hard-as-nails military counselor or FBI, I really don't remember, but I really didn't like her character. She was a real jerk, to be honest. And the new actress who replaces Sam's new love interest, Rosie Huntington Whiteley. Her name's real hard to remember, and she actually makes me miss Megan Fox being in the Transformers movies, because a lot of her scenes with her are meant to be made just so that we would be able to see her curves, just how it was shot. And they don't even give a good enough explanation as to why Michaela isn't returning or isn't with Sam anymore. And it's being explained by the gremlin robots very vaguely. Why couldn't they just say that she broke up with Sam just because he had impotence at the time or something? By the way, the Autobots from the last movie, Mudflaps and Skids was the name, they don't return in this, which was kind of a good thing because a lot of people had been saying they were racially offensive to the audience. And for those of you that don't know who those are, then I'll show you.
What are we gonna do with this shrimp
No,
taco?
just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, not me.
Yeah, not in my
Yo,
trunk.
bumper cars, check it out. I'm hearing you, okay? I'm right here, and I can hear you. No one's popping any caps in any asses, okay? I've had a hell of a day.
Why don't you get a haircut with your bitch ass?
I know I'm being very harsh with these movies, and I actually like a few of Michael Bay's films like Armageddon and The Rock, because they're action-packed movies with some stupid humor that I'm willing to let it slide because of how neat they were. And I can't do it for the Transformers movies because of the fact that they're based off a media source material from the cartoon series. And I just don't get why they keep on adding these physical human traits to these Transformers. From the last one, we have ones with giant metal testicular balls, the other one that ages, that has a cane and a long beard, and the two other ones, Mudflaps and Skids, which I already brought up about, have golden crooked teeth and a giant lip. In the new one, there's this mad scientist one with crazy neon hair, and the other two who speaks in a different tone of language and have British accents. I just don't get why they keep on doing that. And as for Megatron, well, he transforms into this dirty-ass tow truck living in Africa, and he looks like a mess. And seeing him hide out in a place like that, I really wish there was a scene where the Decepticons are just going around tipping elephants over. That would have been something I really would have laughed to. But for the whole movie, there wasn't really a lot to look forward to, except for the CG, how the Transformers looked, and the climatic battle at the end. And I don't get why they couldn't add more fights like that through the whole movie. And again, they don't focus so much on the Transformers perspectives, but mostly on the humans, mainly on Sam Witwicky. Because isn't this a movie about the Transformers? I just wish that they could have focused a lot more on them rather than on the humans, because there are scenes where we see more of the humans fight off against the Decepticons than the Autobots. Overall, I think that the third one is the worst out of the whole because of how many changes there are compared to the others. And I really wish that another director could have been behind the camera rather than Michael Bay. And I pray to Unicron that they would reboot the series and maybe make it into like an animated movie and just focus on them rather than making it live action and including big time stars to focus on the story with. So all I have to say to that is, Michael Bay, please stop these movies. Out of 5, I give it 1.5 out of 5. I just wish that it could have gone a lot better than it has, and I really don't know what else to say to that. So that's all for my review. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back later. Until then, this is Yuto Moses, signing out.